Welcome, everyone, to my living room. This is Derby, coming at you live from the pirated waves of the internet to bring to you the truth that should be known to all. My co-pirater is here with me, Quest Legacy.
Wake up, sheeple. It's time for you to realize what's wrong with this planet.
That was really great. Good job, dude.
Carbon emissions. We emit too many carbons. Global warming is ruining the planet.
I don't know what you're talking about. I emit way less carbons than you do.
Global warming makes the weather hot. The weather that's hot makes people angry, and people that are angry ruin the world.
It all comes back to the weather. So everything just ties right back up, and it's so nice that we can figure this out. You know, people have been trying to find out what's been wrong with the world for years. It's good that we finally have an answer. It's the weather.
Everything comes back down to the weather.
Yeah. This is not pirated internet. I actually pay for my internet. This is hashtag follow the conversation, episode 57.
And I don't pay for my internet.
Michael actually does pirate his internet. He's like hopping off of the wireless of his neighbor, piggybacking that ping.
Piggybacking that ping is did you decide to steal the lingo from every TV show ever?
Well, that's how they hack things in Arrow. So they piggyback pings.
I don't think it's fair to just criticize Arrow. That's every TV show.
No, it's totally true. It is not just CW shows that use like Felicity hack lingo. Or I piggybacked off of the something to get to hack your no. Michael, you're a technician. Is piggybacking a thing?
Not the way they use it.
Not the way they use it. There you go, folks. You can't trust anything that you see on TV. You can't learn anything from television.
Wake up, sheeple. Global warming.
This is the podcast in the Culture People where me and Michael just kind of sit down and we talk. This started off as a catch-all for all the other random conversations that we have, and now it's the main feature of the culturepeople.com where we talk.
The flagship, as it were.
What does that mean for the state of our website if this is the flagship? What does that say?
It means the same thing that it always has. Global warming.
You know,
if the weather didn't suck, the show would be awesome.
Truer words were never spoken. It's the weather. No, so it is cold here. We got snow. I don't know about Michael, but I got snow, and the weather changed my day in a way for the better, I think. I initially had to make a long trek for work, and that didn't happen because of the weather. So I got to get some more sleep last night. That was nice. No, the weather was bad. So there's a meme that I saw on Facebook at one point, and it's basically said, it was something along the lines of, "It snows, hurry, everyone get in the ditch." Basically joking that nobody knows how to drive. I was on my way to work this morning, and on a westbound lane, there was a car in the ditch facing east. Like it had somehow driving down the road got completely turned around and landed in a ditch. It's this time of the year when people forget that, oh, wait a second, we have to slow down and all of this fun stuff again. I have 4-wheel drive, so I felt this. I felt the slick of the road. I was gonna say I have 4-wheel drive, so it makes it a little bit better for me. But did you feel the effects of the weather this morning?
I felt angrier, and I wanted to do bad things, but I suppressed that urge and instead had to drive a significant distance to get to my wife and baby daughter in utero's doctor's appointment. And that was kind of a rough drive. Like, I was driving probably 35 the whole way there, and it was pretty slick. Thankfully, I intentionally drove on roads where I could avoid people, because as soon as I hit a road that had people on it, they would tailgate me, like, instead of passing me. Like, there was a passing lane. There was a passing lane, and instead they would drive like 2 feet behind my car, and I was like, you realize if I stop, you cannot stop before you hit me. Like, you will slip on the same thing I'm slipping on, and we will both get, I just don't understand people.
It doesn't matter if you're on ice or not. They're still going to hit you, even in perfect driving conditions.
But especially in the conditions that today. So, like, the funny thing was, so I pulled onto a road, and it was generally no cars on it, except the one car that pulled behind me and was tailgating me, like shoving their nose at my tailpipe. And so I took the first, like, there was the first turn that I saw. I put my turn signal on like I was going to turn so this guy would go around me, because he wouldn't pass me in the passing lane. So I started tapping my brakes to turn, and I'm going 35 on a 55 road, and my car already starts sliding. And the guy behind me sees that I'm sliding and immediately slows way down and starts driving way slower than he was. Then when I pulled out, he passed me, and I went behind him again. He was driving much slower from that point forward.
Dingus. That guy's a dingus.
I don't understand, but whatever. Mm-hmm. We made it safe. We made it back. I ended up working from here the second half of it. It took so long at the doctor's appointment because there was this, like, my wife is due in 3 days, and they were freaking out because the baby was upside down or right side. They thought the baby was right side up, meaning its head was head up, but that's not how babies are supposed to come out. So we had to do a check to see if that were true. The baby was actually head down, so everything is okay. It just took a long time.
So your doctor just didn't know what she was doing, or like how did that happen?
I'm not going to get graphic, but the way that she was testing, I'm just going to guess is not 100% accurate, and she didn't think that she felt the baby's head.
Wonderful. So baby's doing good, right? Baby Molly seems to be doing all right.
We were able to see an ultrasound. She was yawning. We got a picture of her face that was one of the clearest pictures that I think we've gotten so far. You can just see her eyes and her nose. She's getting kind of smushed in there. Evidently, it gets tight when the baby is 9 months. The baby has been in there 9 months and is now ready to come out. It's kind of smushy.
Yeah. Well, hopefully this will happen soon. Hopefully, and
it would be funny if my wife came home and something happened and we had to leave the show early because of baby.
You know what? I call some random people and we finish the show with that random person, or I just like jabber on and eat Oreos for like half an hour until we have to end the show.
I'm sure you've thought about having a monologue show before. It could be interesting.
Hey, this would be a good testing ground for that. So, all right. Well, I think we should hop into some of the topics that we actually have today. There is one big thing that I cut you off on a little bit last week.
Well, I can interrupt you real quick because I was curious. So you mentioned that you were listening to our first podcast on this website this morning. Why did you do so?
Okay, so I was at work, and I was trying to listen to the podcast called Current Geek by Scott Johnson and Tom Merritt. And because of some filter issues, I wasn't able to listen to that one through the means that I was trying to. And so I'm trying to skip and forth, and I hadn't figured out why I wasn't able to play this episode yet. And so I'm skipping back and forth, and then for some reason, I think I skipped back and it went to episode 1 of the culturemorepeople.com podcast.
How in the world did it end up going to the first episode?
iTunes. I was listening through iTunes, and it's one of the feeds that I subscribe to there. So it just started playing the first one. Episode Weird. 1. Do you know the date that we recorded that on?
You told me it was like January 3rd, 2013.
January
20 something.
23rd, 2014. It was the new year. I had just gotten back from the gym.
It's been almost 2 years.
Yeah, for real. Like it was like 2 years.
Listening to that podcast, it makes it sound like we care way more about fitness than either of us ever will in real life.
For real. Like I was like, yeah, I just got back from the gym. I was like, yeah, I worked my butt off to the point that I felt throw up. I was extremely tired. But
I was talking about like working out twice a day usually.
yes, exactly. Like he was like, yeah, I usually work out like twice a day. I passed out on the floor and just took a nap. Like these things that we're talking about. Yeah, no, this is not true. Like I don't go to the gym anymore. I want to, and Michael doesn't work out twice a day. So
Neither of those things are true, and we will never care about fitness as much as we sounded like we did in that podcast.
maybe we will. Maybe we will. Maybe you won't. Maybe we'll
Even
sound
if I
like
got in shape, I would not care about it as much as we sounded.
Care, but you might sound like you cared about it though.
I don't know. Whatever. That was. Also,
Yeah,
I sounded way more mellow than, like, so I sounded younger. You mentioned that we were babies. I sounded younger. I was way the heck more mellow on that podcast than I am now.
It's these things that we've changed, we've grown, we've come to learn about ourselves and developed into more fold out human beings.
Wake up, sheeple. Global warming.
Global warming. No, so yeah, we've been doing this website for almost 2 years now, and the site is definitely much more content on it than it did back when we started thecultureMyPeople.com.
And hopefully a lot better content, because some of it was, I don't know. I mean, the Culture My People podcast was kind of hashtag, but like, let's be honest, your Super Meat Boy videos, you're bad at Super Meat Boy.
Yeah. Well, so it was a series called Super Meat Boy Weekly that I did twice. So
another one of our half-baked schemes.
Yeah. So, but no, that was what. No, we've got this podcast. So it started out with the Culture My People podcast. Then
Why
it turned
did we
into
change the name?
because it became a video game podcast, and so we did, or either we and that. No, I bet you we started that one and then just started on the topic of gaming separately, and then we just did gaming. No, did we do that one? And
I think we did. I think podcast. Yes, I think that's what happened. We did that one, then we decided to split it because it always ended up being about video games, and we wanted to draw more people in.
So we did,
and now this just ends up being our video game podcast again.
Yeah. Man.
The original goal of this site is still true, though. Like, we have all kinds of various types of nerd content here, not just video games.
And it's gotten bigger.
We do broach other subjects. We have other people. So that stuff's still cool. Like, it's cool to go back and see that part hasn't changed.
Yeah, yes. We got that. So, we've touched on some different things. So, I mean, we've talked about video games. We still talk about video games. We've talked about comic books. Now there's music on the site, and now we've got a separate podcast specifically for TV shows. Like, this is something. So
also climate change.
I'm going to be emailing President Obama later this week and petitioning him for a spot on our climate change podcast. We will see if he responds.
I would like to hear what Obama would have to say to us.
My fellow Americans.
Like, that was pretty decent. Like not even being like adversarial. Like, we disagree politically with him, but I'd like to see if we could even like, what could we shoot the breeze about?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Well, what do we have? Mr. President Obama, how's it going, man? And he'd be like, what does he talk about? Like, if he's not talking about politics, I disagree with him on. What does he talk about?
What are his personal hobbies?
Could we get him to talk about like the TV shows that he likes, or like? Here's the thing. Okay, I have a feeling if we did get him to talk about the TV shows that he likes, a lot of people would like overly flip out and be like, "Why are you watching TV? You're supposed to be the president of the United States. You can't watch TV." And be like, he's got to go home. Like, he's got to do other stuff, man.
Here's the thing, though. His home is his office. So,
but work-life balance. You still got to work on work-life balance.
Yeah, this is a true statement.
President's go golfing. President's do family vacation. Sure, he's responsible for like a significant amount of like our country's like deals that fall on his lap. That doesn't mean he can't watch a TV show or like sit back and play Fallout 4 like the rest of the country.
Before he goes, like, get in like 30 minutes of Fallout before he goes to bed,
I mean, he has to know what makes the world go bad before he chooses to do so.
Borderlands, Fallout, Dark Souls. These are all things.
He's probably like his favorite game is probably like BioShock. Like he really likes the ideas that people like portrayed in BioShock. He just thought BioShock was a failed experiment.
Yeah. Andrew Ryan is the man.
Better. You do better.
We can all do better than BioShock. Let's just put it there. No,
Thanks,
I know he
Obama.
likes. Thanks, Obama. And with that, no, I know he does like sports. Like I know he does like basketball. So I know that I remember the night of his first election in 2000. But it's true. Like I know this for a fact.
I've seen him playing basketball.
Yes. So I could talk to him about my glory days and about my. No, I didn't have glory days. Moving on. Let's get into it. I cut you off last week. There was something that you were kind of getting ready to talk about, and it was going to take a while. And we were kind of at the end, so we're going to talk about it this week. Michael, what game have you been playing recently?
So I've been playing a game called Clash of Clans, but also the game that you're trying to set me up for. I've been playing a game called Fallout 4, which you stealth bought when you didn't intend on buying it because you decided that you would like the game.
Okay,
so you've also been playing Fallout 4.
Yeah, so let me preface this. So there's a Steam sale going on. And I was kind of interested in Fallout. Like is Fallout 4 or Just Cause? I'm not sure which one I wanted to get, Just Cause 3. And I was like, well, let me try Fallout. Fallout 3 is $2.50 on Steam. I'm gonna just buy that and play that. And so I bought it, and I kind of liked what was happening there. It was dated and it was old, but I kind of liked some of the stuff that was going on there. And I put a couple hours into that game. And I spent some time trying to get it to run. I finally got it to run. And I'm playing through it. Also, I've learned that I've come back to the knowledge that, saves are important. And you need to either quick save often or like do something, keep up on that stuff. But anyway, so at one point I'm just playing and then the game just crashes like randomly, like just out of the blue, just like don't cuss the desktop, like no error message, like it just quit. I'm done. So at that point I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go buy Fallout 4. So I went and bought Fallout 4. But then at that point, I couldn't install it to my my data drive, which is my large where I install all my games because I had a RAID go bad. So I couldn't even play it the day that I bought it, or at least get it installed and stuff because of that. So I installed it to another drive, and the following day, I picked it up and started playing it, and I have put 13 hours roughly into the story. I think Steam says like 14 hours, but the save is like 13 something.
All
and
right, here we go.
I really like this game.
So we both playing it. You're playing it as a bad father, and I'm playing it as a role-playing game where I'm the protagonist.
They already have established that he's fine. I'm just kind of helping everybody else out.
He's not. They have not established that he's fine. Okay, so here's the story of the game. I'm going to spoil the first 10 minutes of Fallout.
But the bad guy told me he was fine.
I'm going to finish spoil the first 10 minutes of Fallout 4. You can skip ahead, but don't, because whatever. So, you're a human. You have a wife or a husband, depending on how you build the game or whatever. You have a baby child. His name is Sean. I don't know if you could change his name. His name is Sean.
Yes, that's his name. Your baby.
He's
like a couple months old.
You go to a Fallout shelter. Bombs fall. While you're in the Fallout shelter and in frozen sleep, you see your wife get shot and your baby get taken. Sure. Your baby gets taken. The goal of the game then, at the point that you get unfrozen, you realize it's 200 years after you initially went into the vault, and you're trying to find your son. That's the setup for the story.
200 years after you went into the vault, but at that point you really don't know how long ago your son was taken. So that could have been he could have been taken 20 years ago. He could have been taken 100 years ago. For all you don't know the timeline of when your son was taken.
That's true, but I do now. So I am playing the game like I play all role-playing games the first time through, as much like I would be the character as possible. I'm making decisions that I would make if I were character in the story. You are playing the video game like a video game, so you're going around and trying different stuff, seeing what is available, exploring, and whatnot. This is basically resulted in me playing 7 hours of the game and me being at least 1 or 2 missions ahead of in the story than you are, because I have been mainlining the story. You've been doing other crap. So, what was the main kind of like trying not to spoil quest lines or get super specific? What is the main kind of takeaway that you're getting from your experience? Like, are you finding things like are you finding it as interesting as like a game like Skyrim? Are you finding exploring to be rewarding?
So I don't. In the time that I played, probably 20 hours or something of Skyrim. I don't remember specifically. I did not get into it nearly as much as you did, or another coworker, my boss, as you guys did. I played a little bit and I kind of was done. I just got out. I fell out of it. I'm not as far as I was in Skyrim yet, but I don't find the exploration nearly as satisfying as Skyrim did. There are some, like in Skyrim, when you're walking around the map and stuff like that, it's like, oh, here's a cave. What's down here? And then you go and there's this giant underground labyrinth that you have to navigate, and you see what's down here. This is a lot more simple in its exploration. It's like you're walking around. Oh, there's a building or something like that. Okay, go inside the building and see what's in there, or just walk around and see what you can find out here. There was one place I went to where it was an underground tunnel, and it was just like this old street. So that's kind of the difference I think you would expect between a Fallout game and a Skyrim fantasy game, is they're just different settings, and you're kind of almost limited in the setting that you place your game. But I don't find it nearly as fun, the exploration nearly as fun and cool as I did in Skyrim, but it's still, I still find myself like, oh, what's over here? And, I'm walking around I had this mission where I could have just beelined it straight, but I went this kind of detour route to go through an area of the map that I had never been before. And I found something that I actually needed. So, and I've also come across like quest lines before I think I was supposed to find them and started them. And so I've done some of that stuff. So does that answer your question with exploration? I know you haven't done much of it, but that's kind of my feeling with this game.
Not intentionally exploring the game, I find that there's all kinds of places I want to explore, but because I am either pressed for time because of the way I'm role-playing my character, or pressed for time because something is actually requiring me to do something, I haven't got to explore as much as I might. And, I'm finding things. Like, you go into an abandoned building, you can find stuff that's useful. Like, I've gotten into the upgrade system for armor and weapons, and, I've hit something that a lot of people say, which is that I'm running low on adhesive at all times. So I'm always looking for duct tape. I'm always looking for things that I can melt down to use as stickies. Like, I'm liking some of the systems, but I'm only engaging with them in a way that fits the role-playing playthrough I'm doing. So I don't know if it's something that would support a broader, like, I just want to play this game to do what I want to do, which I thought the story in Skyrim was kind of crappy, but I thought the worlds were super fun to explore. So I just kind of played that game until I basically became a demigod and ruled all and did what I wanted to do. In this game, I feel like I'm severely underpowered most of the time because I'm just bull rushing the story head on, and I've just now reached a point in the story where I feel like it makes sense in a role-playing sense for my character to at least do a little bit of side questing and training, because I've basically been told I'm going to go fight a Captain America like style super soldier or something. And so the characters have made a big deal. I'm going to go do a little bit of side content and see what I can do. But I mean, also, like I said, briefly, like at one point, I'm playing this game as a melee character, primarily, which doesn't mean I won't use guns, but it means that most of the time I'm using a melee weapon, and that can be funny sometimes when you walk into a room with guys with guns and use a baseball bat to take them out.
I am playing the game primarily as a gun person. I do have a bat with razor blades on it now. I have a machete that I use also for melee, and I use those in certain situations, like if I'm really close quarters, like in that tunnel that I was talking about. There are a bunch of ghouls down there, ghouls, and like I'm attacking them, so a machete is really useful against them, and so I'll probably use that. And you don't run out of ammo on a machete. You just swing the thing. So. That's what I've been that's kind of what I use for that. I have been upgrading my guns to do different things. Some of them are not as powerful as I want them to be, and the guns that are super powerful, our ammo is kind of scarce for. So I find myself not using that, not using the guns I kind of would like to use as often. Also, the guns kind of, I shouldn't expect it to because because of the atmosphere but the guns don't look as cool, I think. Like the pipe rifles and the pipe pistols is like, yes, they're pieced together makeshift guns that you can use. Like, okay, fine, that makes sense in this world, but as far as like from a game perspective, they don't look as cool as like something that I would want to use. Like this isn't like, we're not talking like Destiny guns or anything like that.
I'm just not a fan of like, to me, the post-apocalyptic steampunk, like I don't love the art style. Like it is not like the whole like 40s 50s sci-fi look is not something I care about. So I don't think it looks as cool as like Skyrim did, but I'm still having fun with engaging with this. Like the story is still interesting to me. Some of the side content seems like it would be interesting. I'm having fun playing through the story as a lower level character because there are some moments that are just so tense, and I don't know if like when I finished my playthrough of Skyrim, which I almost full completed the game. I considered going for all the achievements. I was like only level 36 or something, maybe 40. But like you are, like I said, a demigod. You're walking through and everything is dying. And so when you're doing quest lines where they're like, oh, you got to go do the big bad thing, and then you one-shot the boss of the quest, it doesn't feel good anymore.
But isn't that kind of a thing with RPGs just in general?
Like, it can be, but it
tries, like you just level yourself up and then it's easy.
But the way that Skyrim and even Fallout is built is you can overlevel it so easy. And I don't know if like some of the Fallout games before have used like a progressive leveling system where if you go to an area as a higher level, the stuff will also be a higher level. I don't know if it's doing that. But playing through the story as a lower level character than normal makes it way more tense. Like there's a specific quest that you haven't hit yet that I don't even know if it's going to be that special for you. But like when you're walking around an area and you have, your health that you got to keep track of. You have your radiation that you have to keep track of. And if you're using power armor, you have to keep track of your power armor's battery. And like you walk into an area and you see like 3 death claws, which are like these giant Diablo looking monsters.
Yeah.
And you're like, there is no way I can get spotted. If I get spotted, I'm dead. And like, there's a cool story setup that's coming shortly for you that I think was just a super cool quest for me. And when I actually got to the end of that quest, it felt like I think it was supposed to feel, and it was heightened by the fact that I was not over leveled and I had to avoid enemies instead of killing them, and it just led to a great thing. Like I don't want to spoil anything, but it led to a great moment, and that quest was great, and that was one of the last things I did before they were like, you have to fight a super soldier, and I'm like, I doubt I could do that at level 8.
Yeah, one of the things I've been doing and is going around and kind of while exploring is doing quests and building up this militia in the place, and that's all I will say about it. And I find that stuff fun, and it's also kind of like, I won't say that I'm a full completionist, but that's that like having that just seems like something that could be super useful for the game. So it's something I'm doing or whatever like that, and so forth. My favorite mission so far has been one where you rescue the companion I have now. You have to rescue him from he's being held prisoner, and that mission where you rescue him has probably been one of my favorites because of I won't say it's not the setting that it was in, but the dudes you were taking down.
It's not a big spoiler. You break into a mob boss's house.
Basically, that's exactly what it is, like a 30s mob boss, where like you're breaking in and you're fighting all these dudes with fedoras and trench coats. And,
I'm gonna snuff them out real good. See?
Yeah. And they have Tommy guns, and then some of the guys might have ties and suspenders and stuff like that. And like you're going through, and you're trying to go through and take out.
I knew when I was playing that mission that is something that you would like. You seem to like that atmosphere a lot more than I do.
I thought it was just cool. It was a nice little like throwback, and it just something that caught my eye. And my companion is super like he's a private investigator, but he's so from that time period of the 20s and 30s, like a Maltese Falcon or Casablanca kind of era, where you just like that's how he talks and that's how he kind of looks. And
I'm pretty sure he does not beat his secretary, though.
No, I don't think he
respects
does.
women.
Yeah, power to the woman. But it's that's been kind of cool, and I like him as a character, but I like Jeff Gersman, who from the sister site GiantBomb.com. Like he has said, I think it was on a podcast, that I like what they did with kind of the companions, at least this companion in this game, where he like I used a companion in Skyrim, but all she was basically like a follower who never really spoke, who says like I am loyal to you or whatever like that, and like her sole purpose was to help take things down, or maybe for me to give armor to carry things. Maybe I don't even think I used her for that though. But this guy, his name is Nick Valentine, and I like him. I like it. So also something to point out that you can get a dog as a companion in this game. His name is Dog Meat. I
don't know why his name has to be Dog Meat either, because you find him, he's by himself.
Yeah.
And he's just walking around. That's what your character calls him. Where did you go? Like as soon as you did the quest for the power armor, did you like explore at that point?
I'm trying. All right, so I'm thinking back. I went to the place where you get the dog, which is like a gas station right outside your place. You get the dog, and then from there, I went to the town of Concord, and I did the next kind of story mission there, which is where
you get power.
After that place. What did I do after that? I don't think I did much I tried to build up Sanctuary, the place where you kind of stay at. I tried to do a bunch of the missions there, and okay guys, like we need food here so we can live. Okay, now we need water. Okay, here's water. Like not necessarily in that order, but like trying to do that mission, and then eventually I just beeline to Diamond City. For a while, the first few hours I played, I did a lot of the story stuff. It wasn't and I did some side stuff, but it wasn't until on Saturday, which is like, okay, I've done a lot of the story stuff so far. Let me take some time to explore and kind of see what's out there. And that's what I have been doing most recently. At some point, I do need to pick up the story and keep going with that. But that game is just it's cool. I really like it. I think I like it kind of more than I thought I was going to. Like it seemed kind of cool, but like I'm digging it.
The first thing I did in the game kind of was a glitch. Was it's almost the tutorial mission, I guess, where you're supposed to get the power armor and then kill everything, and eventually a Deathclaw, the Diablo monster, comes out. I went to the roof without the power pack, like the whatever it's called, the fusion core, because I didn't feel like I just walked and that was the door I saw, so I went outside. Then I realized that was where I was supposed to go. Well, I see the power armor. I don't have the fusion core, but you can just you can rip the minigun off the roof without having the power armor. So I just stood on top of the roof with the minigun and shot the guys as they just walked up. Like I didn't have the power armor. I was just killing guys.
You can hold a minigun as your normal character?
Yep.
I did not know that.
So then I killed all the dudes, and then the Deathclaw came out, and the Deathclaw was fighting the normal guys I couldn't hit because they were too far away to hit with a minigun, and there was no way I was going down there to the ground, especially without the power armor, at like level 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever it was. So the Deathclaw killed the rest of the gangsters and accidentally blew up a car on himself, which hurt him a lot. Then I'm guessing because it didn't want me to be able to cheese him without getting the power armor, he like fell into a hole that I don't think he's supposed to fall into, and he couldn't get out. So I was like, oh, well, I don't know if he can get out for real. So then I went, grabbed the battery pack, got in the power armor, went over to where he was standing, and he was stuck in the geometry, and then I just shot him to death.
Nice.
He couldn't move. So then I went back inside. The first thing that, like, one of the first things that happens is they tell you to go back to Sanctuary because they're going to build. And then they give you the hint that there's leads for your son in Diamond City. So I took the power armor all the way to Diamond City before the power core died, which made for an interesting travel experience because I was traveling through areas where, like, sometimes there were high-level monsters and stuff. But I was wearing the power armor, so I felt okay. But like, it led to a tense situation because I was like, I think I'm probably supposed to go back to Sanctuary and help them do some stuff. But like, the second mission I did was the Nick Valentine rob the gangster place. And I was trying to do it with a melee character who did not have very many perks for like armor or extra damage with a melee weapon. And so that was a fun experience trying to do that. Eventually, you pull out a gun, you're like, oh, this is really easy. When you can, like, if there's 5 dudes in a room, you can shoot 3 of them and just pull out your baseball bat and take care of business. But
yeah, I didn't. I'm playing. I played that differently. That mission I played it the way I think it was supposed to. The glitches I've run into that game have all been pretty minor. I had this one on one point where I would, like, every time I pulled up my Pip-Boy and then would, like, put it back or whatever like that, I couldn't move correctly, and I had to, like, change. I forget what I had to do, but I had to, like, go into another menu or something, get out of it, and then I could move just fine.
I also
it's all been minor stuff that I've seen as far as glitches.
I found an actual stupid glitch. When you're rescuing Nick Valentine, did you, like, explore the Nick Valentine's cave very much, like the vault he's in?
I mean, I felt like saw most, if not all of it, just by playing through the story. Really.
Did you find the shortcut out?
You mean the back? You mean the door at the bottom? And you mean instead of going out the normal way that you went in, like, there are 2 ways to get where Nick goes, and you go in one way and you go out another.
Yeah, and you follow him out, and then you have the, like, boss conversation or whatever.
Yeah.
You have the confrontation. Did you have to kill those dudes?
Yeah, so I think I tried to, like, negotiate that one, and it didn't work. I've had bad luck with my speeches.
What is your charisma? Okay, we're gonna dig into mechanics a little bit. What's your charisma?
I think it's 4. I think it's 4 or 5.
Okay,
maybe that's not very high.
Okay, here is something that I found annoying about the game, and so I've actually cheesed it a little bit. At the beginning of the game, you spend your points, however you want to.
Mm-hmm.
I think 10 is the highest your stats can get.
I think so.
Anyway, I knew that these types of games I very much enjoy, like, convincing people of my side. So I put 8 points into charisma.
Wow.
And, like, it's my second highest stat short of strength. So, like, I planned on beating people up or convincing them to not make me beat them up. That was the way I was going to play the game. I don't have a ton of anything else.
But the peace and the law.
Yeah. So when I'm in conversations, I would expect, especially when you're doing relatively early on, like, conversations, I'm not going to fail basic speech checks, but it happens a lot. And it's like, I put 8 points into, like, I wasted a lot of points I could have put somewhere else, and I'm failing these, like, they have colors of difficulty.
Yeah.
And, like, I will fail easy ones. It's like, no, that's not happening.
Yeah.
So
I've both succeeded and failed easy ones.
You can quick save in conversations, and I have quick saved. If it is an easy speech check, I will quick save it and reload my save if I don't pass an easy speech check with 8 charisma, which is now 9 charisma.
So I think that I have reloaded a save at least once because of a failed speech check, because it didn't go the way that I wanted it to. There was one story, and I will share this story about. So as I was walking down the road, there was this diner on the side of the road, and there are these, like, drug dealers outside who were basically yelling at this mother whose son was, like, high because the son had bought drugs from them, but he didn't pay him. And so they're like, "Hey, we want our money."
That's called stealing, not buying.
I guess they gave it to him on credit. So they come to collect, and the mom's like, I'm not paying for that. Like, my son's high or whatever. Like, he's stoned. Like, this isn't gonna happen. And so, like, I walk up to the situation, and like, I've gotten to the point where before I wait for someone to shoot at me first before I just start shooting in that game. So I walked up to the air and like, whoa, easy, dude. So I start talking to them, and then they explain to me what happened. And I tried the peace options, like, why don't we just calm down or whatever like that. And they fail. I was like, you know what? No, we're just gonna shoot or whatever like that. And so it ended up in a shootout match, and I killed these two dudes. And I didn't want to because I felt like, he purchased a product. He needs to pay for that, regardless of whatever. And anyway, so I continued going with it. I talked to the lady, whatever. I had a trade post there. Kept moving forward in the mission. I ended up coming across a bear, I think. And then my controller died mid-bear fight, and I died. So after I fixed the controller, I reloaded, and the save put me back before I had done that. So I tried a different tactic this time. I talked to the drug dealers, and I said, hey, why don't let me try to talk to her? And they're like, okay, cool. And so forth. So I go up and talk to the lady, and she's like, hey, I'm like, hey, what's going on? And she explains to me what's going on. And I said, why don't you? And I tried to use the voice option. It's like, hey, why don't we just calm down? Why don't you just give them the money and we're all done here? Like, this, it's over. And I failed that one as well. And then she's like, you know what? No, I'm not going to do that. And so then I get in a shootout match with her and her stone son. And so I end up killing them. And then the drug dealer's like, well, thanks, dude. Well, I guess we didn't get our money, but hey, we have a new shop now to sell our drugs. So I just helped these two drug dealers open up a stand for their illegitimate business. And
entrepreneurship should be encouraged. That's what I'm saying.
So that's kind of one of my favorite Fallout stories so far. Other than the fact that my controller died in a bear fight.
So what I was saying was, when we were in the dialogue options, I ended up not having to kill those dudes. The mob bosses. But the mob bosses said, all right, I'm going to give you to the count of 10. And if you're still in here, we're going to shoot you full of holes like Swiss cheese or something that a mob boss would say. Yeah. I had found a shortcut out of the place. So I was like, oh, let's get the heck out of here. So I start running. I can hear the guy counting, and I take the shortcut out. My quest marker says I'm supposed to go back in there. So I'm like, okay. So I go back in there. My quest marker made me go the long way back to the entrance of the place. And when I got to the entrance, he was just like, the guy I saved was just waiting outside to finish the quest. And I was just like, you should have followed me. I had a shortcut. We could have got out of here. It was like so dumb.
Nice.
Which is like, I figure like the game accounts for a lot of cool things, but like there was a shortcut out and we were in a hurry, but the guy wouldn't follow me. It was like weird.
Yeah, so I got in a shootout match with that dude, and I ended up taking his fedora and like his suit. So I have his tuxedo and fedora like just chilling in my stash. I think I put it in a chest back on my place, but so my dude is actually pretty sweet right now. Like, he's got like this chain like Fallout like post-apocalyptic armor on that looks kind of cool, and then he's wearing a bowler hat and sunglasses. I think
that is not cool.
I think he looks pretty dope. I think he looks pretty dope.
It sounds like he looks like a crappy character from Wild Wild West or something.
Maybe that's exactly what he's from. But did you keep the default face stuff, or did you change your character look at all?
No, I don't remember what he looks like though, because I wear a gas mask pretty much at all times.
Yeah. When I did play Fallout 3, I tried to make my character look like Alex Navarro, and
that's pretty funny.
I decided not to take my time and I stuck with the normal one. So, but anyway, Fallout 4 is I think it's super fun. Depending on how much longer I spend with it, and depending on what mood I'm in, I may go back to Skyrim and maybe either reload my save or start a new character, or keep going with the one I have. I'm not sure. But I really like what I've done. What I've seen with Fallout 4 and the glitches. My problem with that game is not. It's one of my biggest problems. It's not my fault. It's not the game's fault. It's my fault because I find myself too often not saving enough and then having to redo a bunch of stuff, and that's my fault because I'm not saving enough. It's very easy. I just go to my keyboard and press F5 and I'm done. So, but no, that game is fun, and I'm glad that I picked it up.
If you get too used to saving, you turn yourself into some kind of weird, like, you turn your character into some kind of schizophrenic crazy person. Where, like, I would play Skyrim, and like if a shopkeeper or something would not sell me what I wanted, or if like a quest went bad, I would just hit the quick save button and then murder everyone and then reload my save. And it was like it was almost like my character is just imagining like, this is what I'm gonna do to you if you don't give me what I want, and then murders everyone and then just like reverts back to the previous timeline. He's like, oh sorry man, I think I'll just leave.
Yeah, that's
just got really creepy.
I have had twice where I accidentally stole something. I didn't mean to. I picked up something from like a vendor. Oh, this was really funny. I was standing in the middle of Diamond City, and I was messing with guns or something, and I was messing with the favorite slots from the D-pad, and I've got everything the way I thought I wanted it, or I was trying to do something, and I pressed RB because I was trying to open it up or something like that, and there was a lady walking into me, and I stabbed her with my bayonet on my pistol, and so the whole town like freaked out and started shooting. It was like, like wait, I didn't mean to do that. So I think I have reloaded saves for those, but that's. I don't want to alienate Diamond City.
This game's really cool. I want to beat it. I don't know how much I'll explore it. Like once I kind of go through an initial pass, but it does make me want to play Skyrim a lot.
I would encourage you to do some exploration with this. There's some stuff out there that you should check out, and I think that's part of the fun of the game is finding that stuff and seeing that. So this last week was Thanksgiving. I had a 4-day weekend. You did as well. And on Thursday, I played. Wednesday evening, I kind of was hopping between video games and what I was playing. I got back into Titanfall a little bit, and was playing that game. That game was fun. It was nice to kind of get back in and just play a couple matches. And I tried some Advanced Warfare online, and I am terrible at Call of Duty online. I stopped playing that. I kind of hopped around between the different stuff. Something that we should talk about. I red boxed Battlefront, Star Wars Battlefront for the PS4. I was going to play it with my family over Thanksgiving. We ended up playing a little bit, not a whole lot. Me and my brother did, but I have something to say. Some people might remember this, but I kind of went off on a little bit of an angry rant a couple podcasts ago about Battlefront and the card system. And
it's not as good as you remember.
It's not as bad as I was making it out to be, and I was wrong.
I think that was very obvious. The outrage that you displayed for something that's pretty ignorable was funny.
Yeah, it was more ignorable than I was initially thinking, and so I was wrong about this game. I think that it works in the game
aspect.
Yes. Now that. There are still cards in the game or whatever, and it's fine. Like it's not. I didn't find it that big of a deal. My problems with that game are not with its card system. I thought the single player stuff was fun. I wish there was more split screen stuff. The split screen stuff was not. It was a little weird. So in the original Battlefront, it was kind of like it was like a territories thing where you take checkpoints and you hold them. The split screen stuff, which there is stuff you can do, is like there's two different things. There's the assault, which is basically that was fun. Me and my brother Will, we played that and that was fun. But we also played the battle mode, which is like a team deathmatch and you guys are on opposite teams, and you're fighting each other. And there's a bunch of AI, and you kill the enemy player, and then you pick up like a card or a token, and you need to amass those tokens to win. And that's kind of the way it works. I wish it was more of a territories like the original Battlefront, or even just a straight up team deathmatch. But so that was a little bit. But the main stuff, like I played Walker Assault. That mode is hard. I found. I wasn't very good at the game when I was playing it, so I think that definitely had something to do with it. But there's something there, I think, and that's kind of fun. But when you get a team that is really good and you're like going against them, they kind of like at that point, it's like this isn't fun anymore. Like we're just getting stomped. I played I did some ship battles and at Walker Assault. I picked up some stuff. Those are cool. But this game it feels flat. Like it feels kind of empty or joyless maybe. And but I did put some more time in with that as well.
I just wish it was way more like Battlefront 1 and 2. Because if they would have just made a better looking version of Battlefront 1 or 2, either one,
Mhm.
I would have
Mhm.
probably been pretty excited. Like even
Yeah,
okay, here's the thing. We've complained about it on our site. We've complained about HD re-releases of old video games. Give me an HD Battlefront 1 or HD Battlefront 2, I'll buy it.
yeah. Well, you might be getting that an up-res version of those with this new PS2 emulation.
So we
That's
talked. So I heard more about that, and I don't know how much we talked about it on the show last week, or if we did at all. There was a confirmed rumor that PlayStation was working on a PlayStation 2 emulator. It's still in the air how much that's actually going to be utilized, and whether they're going to sell games on it, or whether you're going to be able to just put a PS2 disc in, or whether that's going to work or not. Like it's still up in the air how well that gets used. The thing that is kind of interesting is specifically the PS4 version of the game came with PS4 playable versions of Battlefront 1 and 2 on the PS4 that were the PS2 versions. So if they even sold those separately, I would purchase them and play Battlefront 1 or Battlefront 2 local by myself probably quite a bit, because those games are fun to sit down and play a match and then be done.
See, you do still have the option to do that because, I mean, at least Battlefront 2, because Battlefront 2 is on the PC. And so you can
That's
totally do all of
true.
that from there.
I should see if it works as well with the controller, but the PC version, it's weird because
It does not work well with the controller. I don't even think it works with the controller. You have to use mouse and keyboard.
I also preferred Battlefront 1 to Battlefront 2. Like I liked Battlefront 1 better. Battlefront 2 had the space battles, which was cool, but it took away the ability to use spaceships on the ground. And the hero characters didn't really add that much necessarily to the game. And
there were hero characters in 1, right?
Yeah, but you could not be them. So it made it more... They were also not quite invincible, but kind of invincible. So it was kind of hilarious. Like when if you landed a ship on a Jedi, you would kill him. Sometimes if you launched a rocket at their feet, you could get them to fly off an edge. And that was like the only way the heroes would die. So it became like a really funny thing, because if a hero came in, you couldn't kill him. If you shot a rocket at him, he would block it with his lightsaber and it would shoot back at you. So like it was corny and stupid, but it was kind of cool, and you couldn't be a hero character, but you could get in an X-Wing and like fly over a command post and shoot everything. But you can't do that in Battlefront 2. Also, like just certain things about Battlefront 1 I think were tighter. But also like the AI was more broken, but I thought that was a fun thing. You could get so many, like, I don't know. Battlefront 1 was a great game. Battlefront 2 was also a great game. I just preferred the first one.
Mm-hmm. But was Battlefront 2 also, I mean, that obviously that was your first one that you played. I mean, that was probably one of the coolest games that you had played at that point in your life.
Oh, for sure. I didn't even understand it at like a single bit when I first played it. Like I put it in, I did not understand what was happening. Like it was too much, too many systems for me at first, and I kind of didn't like it. And I was like, I just bought this, I don't know why. And then like, even by the end of the night, I played it for a couple hours. I was just like, hold on, I think I might be there's something here. And then, the next day it's just like, oh wait, I really like this game. This is cool.
I never owned Battlefront 1, but I do have Battlefront 2 for the PS2, and I have it on PC. I have played it on PC. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know why didn't they just do that? I mean, I don't know. I mean, the Giant Bomb talked about it, why, if that's all they could have done was just to up-res it. That's not what they did. And this the game we got, and there's some cool stuff about the game that we got. I don't want to pay $60 though for this game. I'm kind of glad that I rented it, because now I can kind of put that thing to bed in my mind. It's just like, okay, I don't have to worry about it.
My theory on it has been, if it goes to like $20 at some point, I might pick it up, but it's not worth the $60. I'm saving my $60 for Just Cause 3, which comes out in a day tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow. No, I thought it was December. Was it December 3rd or December 1st?
Oh, is it tomorrow?
I think it might be tomorrow, actually.
I want to play Just Cause.
Cause 3.
I actually have money put aside for this game as well.
December 1st, tomorrow. Yep, it comes out tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
I had some money. I had
Wait,
some money set
I can
aside.
buy it right now.
Yeah, you could probably buy. Yeah, you could Steam. You could totally Steam that and
I don't
buy
think
that.
it's a. I don't think it's a Steam. I don't know. I'll see what the reviews say because I
I
got to
think it's
work tomorrow anyway.
yeah. It's definitely. I think it's still a pre-order though. Definitely, isn't it?
It doesn't look like it is, but also, I don't know. Whatever. Either way, that's a killer game that I really want to play, and I'm pretty sure like I know exactly what.
Oh, it is not a pre-order. It is go. Yeah, it's a buy. That's a straight up like I could download and play it tonight if
Yeah.
I wanted to. It says release date November 30th on Steam, so it's out.
Oh, wait, does that mean reviews are up? We're doing this
Uh
live. Just cause three
yeah.
Metacritic. For no, just cause three PC reviews. They're not out. Wait,
I
just
know
cause
that
three.
they.
It has a 75 on PC.
Okay, I mean that's probably what you might expect.
All right, here we go. We are going to analyze. This is how we analyze reviews in real life. So we talk about how we talk about reviews in real life. Let's look at these reviews. The only one that's from a site that I know is IGN. IGN's deck says Just Cause 3 is a playground where you get to be a physics-defying force of destruction in its loop of liberating dozens of towns across enormous scenic world. You've gotten much quicker if the combat wasn't so full of options for freeform mayhem. Getting the most out of it requires some creativity and tolerance for performance bugs on your part. So come expecting to make at least some of your own fun. So that review caption is exactly what I expected from this game, and I'm pretty sure that's all I want from this game. I want an open world.
GameSpot posted a review and they gave it an 8. Just Cause 3 makes no apologies for its outrageous nature. It's a powerful fantasy in every sense of the phrase, placing you in a world rife with destructible environments and giving you creative instruments with which to destroy them. There are imminent technical problems and scripted moments detract from the freedom found elsewhere, but in the end, Just Cause 3 provides a spectacular, explosive sandbox experience.
I'm so excited, Ruby.
Yeah, so I had the option to hold out and wait and because I was like, it was Fallout or Just Cause really for me, and I decided to go with Fallout, and maybe I'll come around and see what happens to Just Cause. There is a PC review on IGN. They gave it an 8.
That's what I was just reading from.
Was that the IGN? Oh, I thought okay. What was the IGN one?
Okay, so I will probably end up getting this right after the show because I saved the two money that the last 2 games this year that I saved money for were Fallout 4 in this one. So
gotcha. I don't, and maybe I'll get it at some point later, but right now that's not in my budget. And you know what? Fine. You know what? I'll play. I have Fallout, so I can continue to play it, and I've got other games as well to play. I haven't touched Destiny in a little too long, in depth. I should.
That could be debated.
But no, I think I played some last week. You know, if you start to download right after the show, your other stream will be affected.
I can still pause it.
Yes.
How big is this game? I don't know. Whatever. This is terrible radio. I've been reading a book.
Yeah.
It's called The Dark. Well, it's called The Drawing of the Three, but it's the second book in the Dark Tower series.
How many books are there in the series?
I think 8. I think there were 7, and then he wrote one like a couple years ago.
How old is the series?
Old. Let's see. Gunslinger. Stephen King release. First book came out in 1988.
That's kind of crazy to me that guy wrote The Gunslinger in 88. Like this cool like type of fantasy. He wrote it back then in 88. That's kind of crazy to me.
Yeah, I mean, the forward is a large section.
82.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the paperback was released in 88.
Originally published June 10th, 1982.
Yeah, 82. There we go. That's right.
Dang. That book is 30-some years old.
Yeah, it's old.
That's crazy that he wrote that back in the 82. Like,
hold on. Oh, never mind. Yeah.
The Drawing of the Three came out in 87. 5 years later.
Yeah, it was inspired by things like The Hobbit. Like, there's a large section at the beginning where King talks about his love of The Hobbit when he was a kid and Lord of the Rings. And some other poem, it looks like, called Child Roll Into the Dark Tower came But yeah, it's a weird series. It's crazy. We've talked about the first one. I'm reading the second one. I'm very interested. I've decided that the Kindle is one of the best electronic devices at what it attempts to succeed, which is that it is a killer ebook.
Clarify which Kindle you were talking about.
The Kindle.
The original.
The original Kindle. This is Martin Luther King Jr., I think. Nope. It's not. It has his name on it.
Are you sure that are you sure that that's not Martin Luther and that's just the Ralph Ellison is the author?
No, it's it's pictures of authors is what it's showing.
Uh,
But either way, the original Kindle and probably other like the ones with the whatever they call the ink screen or whatever.
Oh, the paper. You mean the Paperwhite?
The Paperwhite is the name of one of the devices. That's the second tier. There's the original like regular Kindle, which you can't buy this one anymore. Then they have the regular Kindle you can buy now. Then they have the Paperwhite. I don't remember what they call this. It has ink in the title. Either way, it's easy on the eyes. The Amazon Kindle store is huge. It can hold audiobooks too if you want. I don't know. It's a sweet device. I like reading on it.
The Paperwhite is $90. That seems expensive.
Okay, I may be racist, but don't tell me that doesn't look a little bit like Martin Luther King Jr. Chad is making fun.
Okay.
Martin Luther King Jr. is also on the cover of one of these things.
Gotcha.
That's why I was confused.
I wonder how much an original Kindle.
I don't know if you can get them, but the lowest model is $50.
I have a Kindle Fire, an Fire, not even an HD, just a Kindle. No, a Fire HD, and I use it for. That's kind of what I use for books and stuff like that. I have it next to my bed, and I need to get back into. I need to read. I have a book that I really like. I just don't read it enough. It's called Saphir.
You talk about it on like every podcast. You talk about.
I talk about it, but I never actually read it. I need to just read the thing. Yeah.
I prefer reading this than like any other e-device. Period. Like the screen makes it so much easier to read for long periods of time, which I tend to binge read. Binge read.
A Kindle, just a regular Kindle with Wi-Fi, glare-free touchscreen, is $50, $49.99. So it's the newer model of what you have.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know. Do you think is it worth checking out as if you're actually someone who wants to actually get interested in reading? Is it?
I mean, for sure. If you want to read and you want to try to use a device to do that, and I mean, check Amazon, make sure your books that you want to read are Kindle, but most of them are. But yes, it's like I don't know about the other model, but if it's anything like this model, I would wholeheartedly endorse it as being like if you want to read books and you want to read books in a digital form and have them all easily accessible one place, this is a sweet device. And it makes me want to read just because it's so cool.
No backlight on yours.
No, that's the one thing. Like the one reason I want to kind of upgrade this thing was so I could get a device that has a backlight.
I think the Paperwhite is the only one that
has. The Paperwhite is $99. It has a backlight, and then there's a one that's above that. That's $200 that has a backlight, but I don't care about that one.
Yeah, I probably if I was to spend one with the backlight, I'd just get the Paperwhite. 6-inch high resolution display, 300 ppi.
Word.
Nice. Oh, I'll have to throw that on my wish list.
The battery on this thing lasts for almost I left it in the trunk of my car once, and it lasted for no kidding 4 weeks. It still had battery.
How much battery?
It was dying at 4 weeks.
Okay. Nice. Nice.
I haven't charged this for days, and I could read this for hours and hours and hours.
Are those speakers on the back of it?
Yeah, they're speakers. You can listen to audiobooks because it syncs with your Audible account.
Nice. Do you subscribe to an Audible account?
I don't actively have a subscription, but I have quite a few I have probably 10 audiobooks on there that I could just download and play from here.
Nice. Cool. Well, there's your Kindle update for the week.
They don't pay us, but they could.
They could pay us, but they don't. They actually don't. That was just a fan review of the of the device. Yeah. So there's one more thing we should probably at least mention. I posted this on the site. Marvel dropped a Civil War trailer, Captain America 3 trailer. What are your thoughts? You've watched it. We watched it together. What are your thoughts on it?
The trailer's cool. Obviously, their take on the Civil War is going to be a much smaller scale than the comic book. At least if you watch the trailer, it seems like it's a much smaller scale than the comic book event. I'm okay with that because I don't think that they have to strictly adhere to that. It looks like it has a lot of cool fighting. I think the tension between Captain America and Iron Man has been laid prior to this, so it's not going to feel forced when they come to conflict because, spoilers, Iron Man and Captain America disagree strongly on the events of the Civil War. That's what the Civil War is, I guess.
On the events that precede the Civil War in the comic books.
Superhero registration, which is it's implied in the trailer as well.
Yes, it is. Yeah, they kind of laid the groundwork for that in Age of Ultron. With them kind of maybe falling out of each other's graces. What are your anticipations for this movie coming after Captain America 2, which I think your favorite Marvel movie of all of them, right? Am I right?
Yeah, Captain America 2 is the best of the Marvel movies.
Are you including the Sam Raimi Spider-Mans in that? Total.
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Though I would put those on the list a lot higher than probably other people would. You know what? Yeah. Screw that. I put them pretty high on the list because not all the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies have been amazing. Some of them are a lot better than others. A lot better than others.
Emo Spidey. That's all I'll say.
Emo Spidey. I was gonna say Emo Spidey is the best Spidey, but he's not. He's pretty good though.
I don't know. I'm pretty partial to 2099 Spidey myself, but
you mean whatever. I'm not gonna talk about comics. What was the question? How did I think it was going to hold up to Captain America 2?
What are your anticipations? Yeah, you Captain America 2 is your favorite. Like, what do you think?
I think it's probably going to be pretty good. I don't know what it is. I'm not going to give it a bunch of praise or criticism at this point. I think it just has the makings. No, I just think it has the makings to be pretty cool. In the trailer, I got to watch Bucky and Steve Rogers beat the living crap out of Iron Man, which
that happens.
I don't know. Like if you watched Avengers 2, I don't think this is 100% like I don't think it's 100% accurate. But me and a lot of people I know just hate Tony Stark. Like Tony Stark is not. He's kind of he does bad things, and he does bad things for like the most. Like he thinks he's so far above everyone else that he thinks that it doesn't matter that he makes really bad decisions by himself. So I don't know. I'm gonna like watching Steve Rogers stick it to him. But if it ends the same way that the comic book series does, then I guess he who laughs last laughs hardest or something. Whatever. That's how it goes. But
Hell Hydra.
The chat is asking why you have candles on your table. You are a straight white male living by yourself.
Because candles improve the smell, and I like to smell smoke. Like you light a match, you smell it. No, that's nice. Fire is cool.
Smoke. You could just smoke if you want to smell smoke.
This is a healthy way to smell smoke.
I doubt you're global warming. You're like burning the atmosphere up.
No, that's Obama's. It's Obama. It's his fault.
It's not Obama. We want to have Obama on this podcast to talk about stuff. You can't just be criticizing him all the time
for everything. You're right. You're right. Thanks, Obama.
I'm allowed to light candles because I'm married and I have a wife that lives here. So
you also have a space heater directly behind you.
It's cold in my house, man. It's freezing here.
Maybe it's cold here too, and I just lit a candle for warmth.
That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, so I posted a little thing on the site. If you want to watch the trailer, check it out, closemypeople.com. There's a link to the YouTube page, and you can watch it there. I liked it. It was cool. I am trying to take it for what it is and not get like super stupid hyped, and just go into it and enjoy it. And we'll see what happens with it. I hope it's awesome. I hope it's really fun. I hope they make a good, fun Captain America movie. And final verdict: are they going to kill Steve Rogers in this movie? Yes or no?
No, I think he'll probably die in the next film. But I think this film will be used as a setup for the future Captain America.
I kind of want, if the actor Chris Evans actually does want to leave the projects, which I've heard that he does, but now I've heard that he doesn't. But if he actually does, they should kill him off and stuff. But the thing is, I don't think that Disney Marvel could do that, because they would upset every little 10-year-old in the world.
No, they'll kill him at some point. So the thing is, like, heck darn it, I don't want to talk about this. I hate when people talk about this crap. Screw the comics. The movies are their own thing. It doesn't matter what the comics do. The movies should do what the creative directors of the movies think they should do.
I could see that.
That's what I'll say.
Okay.
So if they want to kill him, however they want to kill him, or if they don't want to kill him, however they want to kill him, I don't think they should be held to the comic standards.
And they really haven't been, for the most part.
No, but in the comics, it's kind of crazy when he's killed in a very anticlimactic way.
Dude.
So if like at the beginning of Captain America 4, he just gets shot and is dead, you're like,
that would be crazy. Do you know how many people would be angry?
I mean, then the whole movie would just be built on that climax. So I guess it wouldn't be anticlimactic the way it was in the comics. But in the comics, it's a crazy thing. But I want the movie people to do what the movie people want to do. I hate when people get mad because the comics did it different.
They should have creative reign over their creative product.
Yeah, and they should not. I've been watching Arrow and Flash and listening to your movie or your TV show podcast, and I've been watching the TV show Heroes. Which, okay, I've watched 3 episodes of the TV show Heroes. It's way better than Arrow and Flash are right now. Arrow and Flash are actually decent right now, but I don't know. Comic books are something that I struggle with liking and hating at the same time. They're so dumb. They're so dumb. Like I think we talked about Star Wars maybe. Sometimes I just like feel slightly embarrassed to tell people I like something when I know how stupid it is. Like I know how stupid Arrow is. Like I like it, but it comes with a lot of caveats. If I were to like, they'd be like, "Hey, should I watch the show Arrow?" And I'm like, "If you want to watch a bunch of this stupid crap, and you think you can put up with that, then yeah, there's good stuff to be had in Arrow." But man, is that show stupid sometimes.
Oh, that's good times. Good times. On that note,
I need to go on Just Cause 3, so you need to wrap this up.
All right. Yeah, no, I need to wrap it up anyway. You just started going off on a rant, so. But now is the time where Michael will share how people will find him on the internet. Go ahead, dude. Where you at?
My name is Michael Nip, MichaelKnipp. You find me at twitter.com/Michael Nip or facebook.com/TheRealMichaelNip.
For myself, Drew, at Droopy132 on Twitter, facebook.com/Droopy132. If you want to email us on the show, do you have a Kindle? Do you like it? What are your thoughts on the Civil War trailer? Fallout 4 or Fallout 3? Email us in order to send podcasts at theculturemypeople.com. Share your thoughts. You can also reach us there for other shows if you want to email us about cultural screening or, I can't know music, I'll know music. Podcasts at theculturemypeople.com. Drop us your feedback. Let us know what you like, what you don't like, and share your thoughts there. You can download. You can
hear about the Gear VR some more because we skipped over some of that crap.
No, we kind of talked about it. I mean, I did play a little bit more about it, but we can save that for next week. We've got another topic for next week. So if you want to hear more about the Gear VR, stay tuned. Join us next week. Dang it, you completely threw off my train of thought. If you want to get the audio podcast, we are on iTunes, or if you Android. If you have an Android phone, BeyondPod is our the Close My People's podcast app of choice. They do not sponsor us, but it is an awesome app for podcasts, and you should check it out. You can find us on there as well. And I think that's about it. We have a YouTube channel. watch. You can go back and watch old videos, new videos. Go back. Do you want to see the roots of the site? You want to listen to episode 1 of the Culture for People podcast and see how far we've come? You can check that out on the site or the RSS feed as well. And with that, I think that we have a show in the pocket, wrapped up nice and neat. Is there any final words to depart upon our listeners before we check out for the evening?
Yeah, this is not Martin Luther King Jr. It's somebody else.
And on that note, this has been me, your host, Drew B, with my co-host,
Michael.